Become a member of the National At-Home Dad Network, an organization focused on providing advocacy, community, education, and support. Connecting with households where dad is the primary caregiver of the children. We do this through our webinar and podcast series, mental health support groups, regular online social events, as well as our annual convention. The National At-Home Dad Network is a 100% volunteer organization. Without the generous support of its members and the community around it, we would not be able to continue the work that we do. Becoming a member gives you access to past convention speaker presentations, the ability to vote for board members annually, and ensures that the organization's fees and bills are in positive standing. Oh yeah, it should not go unmentioned that there is some cool swag headed your way if you decide to become a member. For only $35 a year, your membership provides you with the exclusive content only we can generate, and you'll be supporting an organization that benefits families all around the country and world. By advocating for them, offering them community, providing education and guidance, and supporting them to grow in their parenthood journey. And one last thing, if you contribute $500 or more, you will become a lifetime member. Not only will you receive everything already mentioned, but also a certificate recognizing your status and an exclusive National At-Home Dad Network challenge coin with our trademark logo, Dads Don't Babysit. So, what are you waiting for? Become a member today. Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At-Home Dad Network. My name is Brock.
My name is Danny.
And we are here to talk about life as stay-at-home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight, got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet, cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Hey, Danny, we're back for another week of Home Dad Chat. Welcome, everybody who's listening. Glad you're here. Glad you came back. Hopefully we haven't scared you off after all these episodes. This, by the way, is episode 79. We're getting close to 100 already. It's crazy.
Ooh, so will we be at 100 at Home Dad Con? No, not quite.
Not quite.
It's
no.
20 weeks and Home Dad Con is only 58 days away.
Yeah, I don't think we're going
to. We start pumping them out.
Yeah, really. Start really pumping
Hey, guys, it's only a 10-minute episode, but it counts.
We're really trying to overachieve on that one. So,
hit number 100 at the convention would be pretty epic.
That would be pretty epic. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, and we still haven't decided if we're actually going to record at the convention because we both are control freak overachievers, I guess. I don't know. And we have to do all the things. So we're going to be so busy at a convention, we won't be able to sit down together for 5 minutes.
I really want to be able to sit down after the dinner on Friday night and actually do some kind of recording, honestly. Because
let's do it.
That's so however we figure that out, we'll have to work it all together. But, and I want to try to, and I've been talking with the different guys from like the Dad House who are going to be there. And they're actually officially a sponsor, so really excited about that. And then we're also going to have the Dad Ass podcast guys there too, so it'd be fun to grab them up as well. And I'm talking to the guys, one of the guys from the Dad's Time Out show, actually, which they're out of California, and they're from like the Bay Area, but they're a group of dads who sit around a table and they do some fun shows. But one of their guys, MK, and we've been talking for quite a few years, and he was actually texting me this week asking like, hey, when's the convention and all this stuff, and I sent him all this information. I'm like, hey, are you or any of the guys coming or whatnot? And MK's like, well, I got a preseason game that I got to deal with first, because he's the voice of the 49ers on the field. So he's got that big job to do.
Yeah, got something to do. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was like, man, maybe after. I was like, if you can come afterwards, that'd be cool too. So he's going to figure something out, because he sounds like he wants to come and be a part of it for at least a little bit. So we'll see how that all plays out. But yeah, so just all kinds of different things going on, and it's exciting. So
And upcoming in our next couple of weeks, once we've got everything arranged, and we should have at least half of them arranged by the time this podcast goes out. But
Yeah.
we'll be doing quick little blurbs and interviews with people, the keynote speakers and breakout speakers and everything from the convention. So
Yeah.
everybody gets a little appetizer.
definitely, and I'm looking forward to that actually. And I actually reached out to Matt Lofi from the Dad Ass podcast because I was like, hey, like, can you do this, put this together? And he was like, well, aren't we getting together on the 16th and actually we're on the show with you? And I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I did put that like on there. So they'll be here, Sean and Matt, on the 16th to talk with us. I don't think we have anything else going on there.
I think we should check the Calendly, because I think that's the people that I'm not going to say their names.
Did I already double book
reveal,
it? Did I already double book it?
I think well, either you did or I did. However,
I probably screwed it up. We did double book it.
Works. Yeah. Let's talk about that after the show.
We'll talk about that after the show. See, this is what happens, man.
There's no need to tell everybody how we screwed up.
That's all right.
Well, we say we did, but not how we did. So, they don't know how severe it is.
We're amateurs, man. Somebody is going to be a guest on the show on the 16th, and then maybe somebody else will be a guest the week after.
And I was talking to some professional producers and directors and such, like have like Hollywood level, and they were planning on coming on the show, and that's the people that we have. And I said, okay, so I love what you're doing. I love what you've done. It's really well done. And I have to tell you that your production quality is much higher than you're going to get from a couple of volunteer stay-at-home dads in their rec room or basement or wherever we happen to be to record. So love it that you're coming on, but just be prepared.
Yeah.
If
it was a good conversation with them for sure. It was so funny too, because like I was supposed to be at that meeting and I totally messed up the time on it. Yay, time zones. So I ended up talking to him after you and Keith did, but it was still good. And I'm looking forward to talking with those guys a little bit more. So, we'll talk more about that later.
Should we at least say who they are? I think we should say who they are, at least to give a little prep.
Yeah.
Because everybody right now is like, who are you talking about? Would you stop?
Yeah, I do. I think that we should talk, just basically kind of point everybody to the YouTube channel and what they're doing, because that way guys can get a chance to see some of their stuff, which some of it like I'm getting, and other parts of it I don't know if I'm just slow in like figuring it out or whatever, but it doesn't quite hit me with the comedy level that maybe it does for other people. But it is well written though altogether.
Well, it does reach a variety of people. And so the show is called Turf Valley.
Yeah.
And it's a YouTube web series. And it's basically just a couple of friends that got together and had the idea of what exactly would at-home dads talk about at the bus stop. And how are they going to basically solve the world's problems in the 6 minutes you get while you're waiting for your kids to get on the bus, and then you have to go back to your other kids or back to the housework or whatever it is. And it's three different dads that you really get introduced to, and their wives, and their you see some kids, but you don't really get introduced to their children as much. But one has an infant baby, and one has a baby in a stroller, which I'm assuming is under a year old. But you don't get to see the baby. And then one has a little slightly older child. But
that guy, that dad too, the one that's got the baby that you don't ever see, he's like in denial that he's like a stay-at-home dad almost.
Yeah, right.
Like that's the best part, because like he just sort of like stepped off of the work floor.
Yeah, don't say where he's from.
No, I'm not gonna
let people reveal that.
No, I'm not gonna do that. But still, though, like that one was the funniest for me, because I'm like, I've experienced that talking to stay-at-home dads.
Right.
They're like, it's only for a limited time. This is for a limited time. That's it. Like, right. Sure.
I just got this for I'm a photographer, but I take care of the kids because I'm around the most. Man, you step into it there, Marine. you know what you are.
And then you just have the like really geeky guy. You just have the guys that are like watching everybody else in the neighborhood too. Like, and so it's got a lot of different pieces of character to it. So the one thing that I'll say that I'm most like just kind of like I don't know if I like cringe at or whatever, is just the idea of it like being in an HOA neighborhood. It's probably like my nightmare of nightmares, honestly. So I
Why do
always told
people live there?
Yeah, I'm like, no, not doing it. But you get that aspect of it too as well, which is pretty interesting because it's not just the guys talking, like they bring in other people. So I actually just watched the episode I forget which one. It was the episode where the one dad walks in holding his infant baby, and the mom is talking about like some sort of like business trip that went
to the bar and
went a little wild or whatever. And like she's all like, "I'm on business, honey. I'm on work and go away."
Do you need something? Because I'm working. Right. And I definitely, I wouldn't say that Marnie has said that specifically to me, but she's definitely had those moments of I'm trying to work. What are you doing? Take the kids somewhere. What are you doing? Do your thing. Go do your magic and make the kids stop doing what they're doing.
I know this story sounds interesting to you, but it's really not meant for you. Leave. Bye.
Right. But I really enjoyed it. I watched all the series, and again, it's called Turf Valley, and that is an actual place. Which is pretty cool. It's from what I understand, a fairly affluent neighborhood, but not a lot going on. And the guys kind of said, well, we just figured we could make it basically what it is, but funnier. And I'm like, yeah, sure. That works. That's a formula. I think it's going to be, and I enjoyed it for sure. I hope they're looking to get like a 30-minute series on Hulu or whatever else where they could, get it produced. And I could see them doing 30 minutes a week.
Sure. I mean, there's the show that's on I think it's on Netflix called Working Moms or something like that, that's really gotten popular, and it's got a similar sort of flow to it, I guess you would say, a little feel to it. And it's funny, but it just follows a few different like working moms and how they interact with each other and talking about like their life and stuff like that. So definitely it has its moments as well. So but this Turf Valley, I don't know, man, like it is very different, but it's got these hilarious parts to it. So check it out and leave a review. And honestly, like that's the one thing they're trying to do is get more eyes on it. And I think that our viewership or listenership can help that out as well. And probably will honestly feel very seen by watching
right.
The episode.
And at no point did I think they were trying to recreate the Mr. Mom mindset or anything like that. I didn't see anything in there where they were, talking about, well, at-home dads or dads even are idiots, or, there are dads who are idiots. There are at-home dads who are idiots. We know, these people exist, but the reality of most of them are just the guys that are in this job, and they're just working it as best they can. They're dealing with a lot of different situations. I mean, one of the guys is divorced and he still has to, talk to his ex-wife quite often.
Right.
And, the other two are both married, and the dynamic between husband and wife is different.
Totally different.
For each couple. And I really liked it because they really got, I'm going to use the word diversity, but I don't mean it necessarily as the most common use of it these days, but more like diverse. They have a wide range of dads and couples in there. And I like that they did that,
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. They're doing really well with it. So hopefully it continues for them for sure. I'm looking forward to just what we get to do with them, hopefully down the line, because they sounded very interested in wanting to hear more stories from our dads. So
we're going to send them a t-shirt and ask them to wear it on one of their episodes.
Hey, I mean,
here's a t-shirt.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
it's trademarks, so don't start, but
exactly. So that's going on.
Well,
so that's really exciting.
If you get a chance, before we move on from that, if you watch if you go to their channel and look at all the videos they have listed, one they have that is a news service, like the Baltimore channel, whatever the news channel, covered their, had an interview with them and talked about it. But the other one is a YouTube channel called Beer Before Bedtime. And it is an at-home dad, and you look at him, and he's in his kid's like playroom or whatever with the things on the paintings on the wall and all that stuff. And he waits until bedtime, and then he has the conversation about the beer he's drinking. And the episode, of course, they highlighted was where he said, "I found a show about me." And it was really cool that they had that, and they've contacted him and they've sent him some beer to review and, sponsored him a little bit in that way. And he's in Portland or Seattle. I can't remember, but he's on the West Coast up near our friend.
Yeah. Joe.
So,
yeah. Okay.
So
That's cool.
Small world. And I was thinking that at the very least, we should mention that, Beer Before Bedtime is out there. And if you guys want to look him up, of course, too. I don't know anything about him other than that one episode I saw.
Yeah.
So,
well, the whole reason that that the folks from Turf Valley even heard about the National At Home Dad Network was because the Baltimore Magazine had reached out looking for some dads to talk with for one of their articles. And then they came across the article and was like, whoa, what's this organization? And then that's the thing that I love, man, is like, I love it when like a journalist like reaches out and I get that. I see that in the media or info email, and I'm just like, oh, what are we getting into this time? And so it's been really cool because like I've been able to connect a lot of dads with one particular writer from the Wall Street Journal. And she's written like 3 or 4 articles in the past couple of years and used a lot of our dads in them. So it's nice to see that she literally comes to us and says, I really want a dad's perspective for this article. And I think that that's a pretty awesome honor that she's seeking out that, because there's a lot of media, a lot of journalists, they're not doing that, and they're missing out. They're missing a whole angle for stories.
Yep, I agree.
But yeah, so that's one of the big exciting things that's going on. So,
and we do have to get them scheduled before they do the Dad House podcast. That's just my only stipulation. I told Sue that. I'm like, hey, their producer or their agent or their friend, I don't know who she is, but exactly, I think she's their agent.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I just have one request. I'm happy to do this. Love to do this with you, but we need to be on before Dad House. They're more famous, and at least at this point, I can go up to them and like at the bar and go, hey guys, good job getting Turf Valley. I mean, we did that weeks ago, but yeah, nice work. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. I do not need Shannon being mad at me.
I don't think he'd be mad. He might be mad at me, but I don't think he'd be mad at you. I think he's got a pretty good sense of humor, and they for the most part seem to have a good sense of humor. I think, of course, I have gotten punched in the face before because I mouth off like that, but I don't think Shannon would do it. He'd probably get Jake to come in and pound me a little bit.
Well, speaking of those guys too, the Dad House guys, like they're out on their dad trip this, as we speak right now. So they've got 21 people in one house. Mick was on talking to us about it the other day.
That's crazy.
I'm like, holy cow. They're like, yeah, it's quite interesting trying to find an Airbnb that you can put 21 people in. I'm like, yeah, that's because they were like, we don't want to drive around like we normally do because gas prices are horrible. So they were trying to find a big enough place that had like a swimming pool at it and stuff. And so they were able to do that. But I could only imagine like having that going on, because I think there's like 4 dads usually or something like that.
I think there's like 5 dads and one guy who's not a dad, and then
all the
kids of all the and they have
kids,
huge age. Well, I think all the age range, they're like, I think, I don't know,
they range from like
8 and up, 8 to 16,
something like that. Yeah, because the oldest ones, there were 2 older ones that they were driving for the first time last year.
Yeah, on the road trip. Oh yeah, that was last year. Wow,
yeah,
that was last year.
Yeah, that was last year. That's that's the other part. I'm like, that was last year. Holy cow. They're a whole nother year older, so they're probably like 17 now. But yeah, so that's been going on as well. But yeah, man, I mean, the coming down to the wire for Home Dad Con is it's getting exciting. So
yeah, I'm so excited.
There's still speakers that are yet to have been announced, that I'm getting put in place to put out. Like I'm trying not to put them all at once. I'm trying to like get them all in within a certain time period, but it's like, you won't even want to put so many out at a time, but it's still exciting. Like just all the different ones. Actually, this when this episode airs, we'll have announced the last like main stage speaker. So, and that's Chris Gaffney. So he's a stay-at-home dad and humorous writer, and he's written like 200 like humor articles, and he's like one of those guys that apparently like he does like the roast, like like the Friars Club type stuff. So he's pretty, sounds like a pretty funny guy. I'd love to I'd love to see him get up there and like roast like JHG or something like that.
No, these guys have no filter. They don't know when to stop. They just
That's
go
the best
and go.
part.
And,
That's the best part.
The worst things.
Well,
It would be hilarious, but no,
yeah.
don't
Well,
do it. And don't do it to me.
Well, we were talking
I'll
about
cry.
that on the
I will cry.
we were talking about that on the Dad Lounge though this week about the whole like Friars roast people and stuff like that. And there's like a whole celebrity what is it? I think it's called historical figures roast. And they've got like Cleopatra, Abraham Lincoln, Muhammad Ali, Hitler. It's
Wow.
The different people on there are, that's pretty wild. Like, and Bob Saget's on there. He actually plays Abraham Lincoln, which, and then Gilbert Gottfried's on there. I believe he plays Hitler, and Hitler is actually roasting Anne Frank.
Wow.
I mean, you got to think about this. Like these guys, like they have no filter, they have no boundaries. So yeah, but if you're into historical stuff, it's definitely worth checking out. It's definitely got some good one-liners in there for sure. So, but yeah, so that's Chris.
Right.
So Chris Gaffney will be the announcement that's coming out there. And so,
do you want to go ahead and say what he's talking about, or you want to wait until we announce it?
We'll just wait till he announces it.
Good for me.
Honestly.
Or will you have announced it before this comes out?
It'll come out. Yeah, it'll be announced before this comes out. So,
well, then go ahead. You won't be.
I got to pull it up. That's the thing. I don't have it in front of me right now.
What do you do all day?
I'm always like looking at things.
No, that's his.
Oh,
that's his.
Yeah.
That's the title of his thing is what do you do all day? And I don't remember the wording of the rest of it, but it's basically about taking
I got it pulled up now.
Go ahead.
It's sharing your personal story with authenticity and humor. So basically like just how do you talk about the things that you do through the day in kind of a fun way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, dude, that's how tired
what do you do all
bro.
day, Brock? My God, you don't know this stuff.
What do you do all day? Oh, well.
Yeah, don't ask me either because I could, but I did actually. I've had a very busy day. I've been too busy, and I'm really stressing myself. Unfortunately, so I went tonight, and there's a local spa, which they do all the things right, but they give a free Tai Chi class on Tuesday nights.
Just not a Deshaun Watson spa, right?
Right. But I went over there tonight with Marnie and took a Tai Chi class while the kids kind of didn't hurt each other or break anything while we were gone. So that's good.
Hey,
but
it's always good.
Yeah, it kind of, but there's still some things that I'm going to have to look at when we get off the podcast. I'm like, okay, so what did you download onto this thing? Because they were downloading mods for a game to one of the computers. And I'm like, did you ask? Well, we thought it'd be okay. We've done it before. And I'm like, where did you get it? The internet? What virus do we have now?
Are we going to hear the words out of your mouth? It's my mom's most favorite piece. Oh man, if you put it on that way, everybody love the Goonies. Oh man. Yeah. No, so they were buying mods for things for a video game.
I don't even know that they bought them. I think they were
looking
free.
At them. Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think they were free, but I don't know that makes. Now there are certain games that I know, and there are certain places that, like, if you go to this website, I know this website is legitimate, as opposed to if you go to this website, which has much more advertising on it, it is not in fact legitimate.
Yeah,
so they may know the difference, and they may have made very good decisions, and I may be very proud of them later, or I may be burning that hard drive and starting over. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but. You don't know. I don't know where they got it or what they did, but I trust my kids, but I also know how the internet is.
Have you ever run into a situation? So I see this from time to time on the internet. Have you ever run into a situation where your kids have ordered something on Amazon and you didn't know about it and it showed up at the house?
No.
I'm the same way. Like, I don't understand how that happens. Like,
Yeah.
How are you not paying attention to your emails, or, like that stuff comes across as notifications on your phones even?
Yeah. And all of our accounts, online accounts, require the security code on the back of the card.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't have, you have to have the card in hand to be doing those. And we set it up that way, and I don't want anything else. And the kids know they're really, I've got really good children. I'm very blessed. I think I'm very fortunate. I think my kids are probably better than I might have had to deal with if I, in another situation. They're smart, and they just kind of know, I don't want to do that. It might make dad mad.
Yeah, that's a good way to walk through life. And I'm saying that it's because they're good kids and not because they're absolutely terrified that I'm going to lose my mind if they take money off my credit card. Yeah, but still though, it's
just they're good kids. They're just good kids.
Well, I mean, even in the game, like the game stuff you're talking about, we'll set an iPad with the kids and let them play games on there. From time to time, there's games that have like ads and stuff, or like the I can, pay this much and I get like these little trinkets or whatever, and they do this in the game. And a few times I've had Hezekiah come up and be like, hey, like, can I do this? We're like, no. Like he's even like close to, like, there was one time where he had it like all set up and ready to go. He's like, I just need like a credit card. And I'm like,
right.
No,
if you could just sign on the dotted line, sir. I
feel like
I sold one of our cars for Robux.
Yeah, exactly. Why is Carvana here to pick up my car?
The people that have their kid like order $3,000 worth of lollipops or some crap. I don't know how you get to that point. And I'm not saying it's not impossible, and obviously, and I'm not saying it's bad parenting at all.
No.
I really wonder how that hits that much, and you weren't aware of it. But again, I have, in days that I'm watching my children, I have just fallen asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
And they're playing in the living room, and I wake up and they're still in the living room, and I think everything's fine. Was it 5 minutes or was it 5 hours? I really don't know. I'm just so sleep deprived.
Yeah.
But, wake up to the smell of a dirty diaper, and maybe it's been 5 minutes. You're fine. So I could see things happening. I mean, my kid
sure
learned to unlock the front door. And fortunately, we had the thing on the house that said beep, beep, front door or whatever. And I'm sleeping, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning and dark, and I hear beep, beep, front door. And I am ready. I mean, I am just like,
pop you
I am
out of
going
bed real quick.
Sword in hand. What do you got, friend? Who's coming in?
Yeah.
And just ran out to the living room, and there's my kid walking in down the stairs to go up the driveway. Just, I'm leaving, and no idea where they were going or what. And it was dark, and why they weren't scared, I don't know, but they got in their head they're headed out to the road or whatever. Fortunately, we lived out in the woods, so it was a quarter mile. He probably couldn't have made it to the road, but they would have gotten distracted 20 feet out. But your kids do things that, no matter how conscientious you are, how careful you are, they're absolutely problem solving little primates.
Yes.
They're cats with thumbs. They just want to get into everything, and you can't control them sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
yeah. So I mean, hey, it makes for a good story later on, I guess.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. If you get your money back, and if you're able to send the lollipops back, and you're
right. No kidding.
Yeah. So years later, it's like, you were hilarious when you were a kid. You bought $3,000 in suckers. And I'm like, sorry, Dad. Are you still sorry? Because you're not getting a car, because we had to pay $3,000 for suckers.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So this weekend, you had an epic weekend.
Oh, this past weekend. Yeah.
You had an epic weekend. I had a really
Stump
good
Fest
weekend as well. Yeah. You had Stump Fest. I had some hangout time with some of my family, and then also with some guys. What was so you went to Stump Fest. What was that?
We called it Stump Fest by the end of it, but it was really Jeremy Haston's birthday.
Yeah.
And he turned 40 on Sunday, and he said that at some time in the past, he said, hey, I'm going up to the Twin Cities. Any dads around want to hang out?
Just so you know, he was supposed to come visit me.
I
got outvoted. I'm
the cool brother, man.
I'm not as cool as all you guys. Well, it was either come hang out with me or come hang out with all of you guys. So I got outvoted real quick.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry.
Nope, you're fine.
But,
I just had to
he got
put
up
that in
there.
there.
He got up there Thursday. I got up there Friday afternoon. Eric Schoberg put us up for the whole freaking weekend, and
Oh, wow.
and
Chateau de Shorberg.
smoked, I would say 5 or 6 pounds at least, if not 10 pounds of pulled pork, and smoked it in his smoker for 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. So 15 hours or so.
Wow.
And then coleslaw and this really awesome cucumber salad that he makes. And so, I mean, Friday I get up there and I'm like, hey, you got any of that pulled pork left? He's like, oh yeah, we got like 8 or 9 bags left. We're good.
Oh my.
I don't think he had that when we were done, but yeah, in
You
a
guys all had
fridge
the
in
meat
his
sweats
garage,
afterwards?
full of beer. I mean, just full of beer.
Was it full of Drecker? Because that's usually what he's drinking most of the time.
You know, I don't drink beer, so I just looked in there and went, do you have any bottles of water? I mean, nothing.
Oh, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny that Jeremy like was posted at like 9 a.m. that he was already cracking beers open.
Yeah. Yeah. Tim McMichael came to pick him up, I think, on Friday, and he had 2 beers before they left to go to the brewery.
Oh wow. they were having a good time.
I mean, it was an Irish morning breakfast, that's for sure. And they were, and he never like seemed drunk, you know. I mean, Jeremy is a big fella.
He's guy,
over 400 pounds, right? And he's got to be 6'2", you know,
easily.
or he looks 6'2". But he's a big guy. I mean, he's one of those people that if he hugs me, I get that comforting, my dad's hugging me kind of feeling, you know.
And if he hugs me, someone walks up and says, "You're hugging yourself," and then all of a sudden, like I pop out, like a little kangaroo baby or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what's great about him, or one of the great things about him. But yeah, so he was up there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I think he went home Monday. Yeah, yesterday. So he went home yesterday.
I mean, as much as he was having a blast with you guys, he was having a blast with Eric's kids too. Oh my gosh.
You know, he was trying to vie for favorite uncle, and I don't think he realized the competition was pretty stiff, because I am in fact their favorite uncle. And Eric, I know you're listening, and you just tell him right now, Danny said, I love you and you're my favorite. But we had a lot of fun with that, because he was arm wrestling with him, and he brought him some little nice little toys. I mean, they broke pretty quick, but that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay.
That's pretty much
it's
what
fine,
happens.
Jeremy. It's all right. Sometimes toys get broken. Sometimes they were just cheap, and
were they painting
should have bought something else.
Were they painting his fingernails too? Was that
painted his nails.
Yeah. They were like I said, they were having a good time with him, man.
Eric's daughter, and I'm not going to name their names.
No, you're good. You know, you're good.
But his youngest daughter said, I want to paint everybody's nails. And we just never found the time. So I don't think she got to do anybody but Jeremy's, but I think that was enough.
Yeah.
Big hands. She probably had it easy. You know? But yeah, we cut down a tree while we were up there. It was really funny, because Eric, we're on the message, you know, about the plans for it and everything. And on the messenger, and he's like, hey, Danny, do you have a chainsaw? I'm like, yes, sir. I have a Stihl 029 Farm Boss. I've had it for like 30 years. Why do you ask? And he was like, can you bring it and cut this tree down? And I went, yeah, let's go. You know, I mean, you want me to cut a tree down? Are you sure? And I did. I got with him. I said, look, okay, so let's be serious for a minute. You understand that I have no insurance. I am not a tree person. I'm just some dude that's going to be in your yard. And if the wind catches it and it flings it onto your fence or something, I want you to understand that I would much rather show you how to do this, and it be on you if there is any issues, because I really, you know, I'm fine with it if you want me to do it, but I need you to understand that I'm not going to be able to pay for your fence. I don't have insurance, you know? And so we kind of had that about it. And he was like, look, it's not that big a tree. It should be fine. We've got it limbed up. They had it limbed up to about 8 feet, and it was tiny. I mean, to me, it was tiny. It was like, I don't know, it was maybe 14 inches across.
I was gonna say it didn't look like a huge tree, but
no, I didn't even need my chainsaw. I got Marnie's chainsaw, brought it with me, and I cut it down pretty much. I cut the wedge for it so it would fall where we wanted it to. Yeah. And then got Eric with his electric chainsaw, the plug-in chainsaw, cut it from the back and do the actual drop and everything. He did great. You know, nice. He did it was one of those things, cutting a tree down, you don't really know how to do it until you've done it.
Yeah.
You know, so he was like, well, where's the wedge? And I'm like, just do it here. Don't cut it too far in, and then just cut it straight in from the other side, and it'll go right where you want it. And it did pretty much.
Years ago, we had a tree cutting party at David McMillan's house, and there were like 6 or 7 dads and all of our kids, and we had 2 dads who were like, I'm good, like I'll just hang out with the kids. And so like they hung out with all the kids like in the front part of the property,
Mhm.
and the rest of us were back there just like having ourselves the greatest day ever, cutting
Mhm.
trees down and whatnot. We were all a sweaty awful mess afterwards. So but it's so much fun to do. So it's just kind of that bonding that you get
Mhm.
hanging out with a bunch of other dads and power
Yeah,
tools.
and just exactly. It's the tools, it's the problem solving, it's looking at the thing and going, well, what if this happens? Well, oh wait, this did happen. What do we do now? And not that anything big, but it's just that getting together as a community of dads to work on a problem together. Really,
Yeah.
any problem I think would work. But cutting down a tree is always cool because it's so, let's say, exciting as the
Oh, yeah.
tree falls because you don't
Mhm.
really know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
think you do.
Yeah. Well,
But-
and this tree cutting that we were doing, all the limbs and everything that we were cutting
Mhm.
down, they all got put into a huge fire. Like
Mhm.
we had a massive brush pile going. So it was like
Wow.
you cut it down, you cut all the limbs down, you're just dragging them into this massive fire, and we just had like an inferno going.
Yes.
It was like, glad we live in a township, because otherwise
Well,
we'd have the city there. And
you've seen pictures of that tree, and again, it wasn't huge, but there were a lot of limbs because it was a spruce pine.
Oh,
and
yeah.
there was a lot of sap. They have they don't have a fire pit. They have like a fire. Well, I guess they have like the metal ones that you put on your porch or whatever, not your porch, but your patio or your deck,
like the
and you have a
smokeless
little
ones?
fire in it. No, well, not really, but it's just a mobile. You could move it if you need. It's not like in the
Oh, okay.
ground. It's not a
Yeah,
bonfire or
okay.
pit or anything. It's just a smaller one for just kind of hanging out with people.
Yeah.
So Eric's wife, who is, we will call her the machine from now on, because she went out while we went out to do whatever we were doing Saturday, went to eat, and I took a nap actually Saturday because we stayed up to like 1 o'clock. I'm like, I'm an old man. You're going to kill me here. And while I was napping, like in 2 hours, she had the tree completely stripped, all the
wow.
limbs off. And then by Sunday, she had it all burned and all gone. And their fire pit is like maybe 18 inches deep, and it was absolutely top to bottom with ash. He was like, I think we probably smoked out every single person in the neighborhood because it was all green and it was a ton of smoke.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, she just gets out and does it.
Oh yeah.
And
That sounds
it's
exactly what
5
Corey
hours
would
later,
do.
done, all gone. And I'm like, yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
His wife's pretty badass and good cook too. Good baker, I should say.
There you go.
I'm telling you the difference. We discussed the difference between cooking and baking a lot.
There's a difference.
Yeah,
There
'cause
is
baking
a
is
difference.
science. Baking is a
Baking is
science.
sci-
You have
Yep.
to do it right. Yeah. And cooking's like, put a little of this, put a little of that. You put some salt in it, it's fine. It'll be good. You put some, cayenne pepper. Well, we could cover that up with some flour. Or whatever. It's just, I'll just figure it out as we go along. But she baked cupcakes and she baked biscuits the next morning. They made sausage and gravy. I had sausage and gravy on eggs, and it was just like, yeah, all right. And pulled pork until, well, I could still be eating pulled pork if I never got to the point. I'm like, I don't want any more pulled pork. It was more, I have eaten a pound. I need to back off. And the coleslaw. Do you eat coleslaw in your pulled pork or your
I've done it.
Sloppy
I've
Joe
done
barbecue?
I've done it multiple different ways. So
all right.
it depends. I like it either way, honestly. So
I never liked coleslaw. Never.
No?
I mean, growing up and whatever, I didn't really like it. I never enjoyed it. But about, I would say 8 or 9 years ago, somebody brought it over to our house for a big barbecue we were having, and they're like, "Here, you need to put this on your burger," or I think it was my burger, but maybe a hot dog even. I don't know. And I'm like, that's weird. And they're like,
ooh,
eat
yes,
it, try
on a
it.
hot dog. Yes,
It was
Hey,
incredible.
that's a dirty dog, my friends.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was delicious. And then with the pulled pork, because I wasn't eating, I'm not eating bread right now or whatever. So I would just get the pulled pork and the coleslaw and a fork and just be like, I'll be back in 5 minutes for another pound. But it was delicious.
There's a barbecue place here in town called Eli's Barbecue.
My
And
mouth's watering.
it's been named like one of the top like barbecue places in the United States. Actually, they have a hot dog that they smoke, and that gets coleslaw on it. It gets their like little crispy bits that are like left over from like the pulled pork or
the
whatever.
cracklins or whatever.
Yeah, the cracklins or whatever. Those get put on it, and then after that, then they douse it in some of their barbecue sauce. Oh my gosh, delicious,
man,
so good. So yeah, that's good stuff.
I told Marnie when I was up there, I told her what I was eating. I sent her a picture of it, and I said, I just want you to know you want me to have a smoker because we don't have one. I'm telling you, you want me to have a smoker. Just let you know. You will be so happy what I can do with this smoker because I know Eric will be there to help me through it. I know a lot of the dads have done it before and will help me through it and make me figure it out.
Well, hey, you can always call up Darren Carter too, man. I mean, he could definitely help you out too. I mean, he did the webinar with, with Matt, and
I would be kind of intimidated to talk to that guy about hey, I have a Walmart electric smoker. It'll do a half pound at a time.
You have to understand, Darren Carter is one of the most amazing dads I have ever had the opportunity of getting to know. And honestly, like I consider him to be like a long lost brother of mine. And nice. I met him through Dad too. And he's the Cleveland dads organizer up there. But yeah, he's done so many amazing things to the point where now like he's got a food truck and everything. And he's really just his dream of what he's wanted to do is really coming to fruition, and I'm super pumped for him. So it was awesome to get him on the webinar with Matt to be able to talk about it. But yeah, if you've got barbecue stuff, like reach out to him because he's super down to earth. Like he'd be happy to talk to you or anybody else that's got questions. So yeah, definitely.
He seemed like it on the webinar. He seemed like a pretty good guy.
He is. He's a great guy. Actually, I need to get up to Cleveland at some point so I can actually partake in all of his goodies that he's got up there. So I got to make that happen at some point. But yeah, well, for me this weekend, so like we went to a baseball game, which the amazing part about that was that if it wasn't for the fact that the kids were like, we want to go to the park for a little bit, we'd have made it through all 9 innings, which honestly is quite a feat. That
is impressive. Yeah. Your kids are what?
6 and
5
9,
and 6, 6 and 9.
6 and 9. Yeah.
Not close, but yeah.
No, you're fine.
All right.
So yeah, so that was pretty exciting that they were able to do that. But then that same night, I got together with a buddy of mine and his new church that he's a part of, and we went up to this place called Full Throttle, which is a go-kart. It's an inside go-kart track. The cars go like 40 miles an hour. They're freaking fast as all get out. You're wearing an actual racing helmet and you've got like a neck support thing on. And also in this place is like axe throwing and paintball and just like a cool place to hang out. And so we went up there and we did axe throwing for a little bit, which was a lot of fun. And then we went and did go-karting. And after we did like the axe throwing and then the go-karting, they told us you could do either one. You could go back to the axe throwing or you could keep racing. I was not about to stop racing. Like I ended up doing like 5 races that night and had a blast. It was so much fun. And it was so nice to like connect with all of those guys. And honestly, like that was something that I was definitely missing because like at the end of the night, like I just felt like this complete, like filled, I don't know, just I did not feel like I had felt earlier, which was one, I was questioning whether or not I should even go. And then I decided to go. And then it was like, cause I didn't really know anybody other than my buddy up there. And there were 15 guys up there. So, but I connected really quickly with the guys, which was great. And at the end of it, I was talking with the, it was a men's ministry actually. And so like I was talking with one of the head pastors there. And I just said, man, like I did not realize how much I needed this tonight for my mental health. Like seriously, like just the camaraderie and the activity and everything with it. And he was like, yeah, man. He's like, you know, us guys, like we just get so wrapped up in our responsibilities that sometimes, you know, we're putting out so much, we forget to like actually stop and like fill ourselves back up. And I was like, that is so true. Like, I completely agree. Like, I feel like a lot of guys are in that boat where it's like, you just got to have that time to fill yourself back up. So it was nice to feel that because that's what I feel when I go to Home Dad Con too. So it was nice to kind of get a little extra bump before that, before this coming Home Dad Con. So yeah, so that was pretty much how my weekend
That's awesome.
came about. Yeah.
And you do need that. We all need that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got your opportunity, because it's really something that I feel like, especially if you are the at-home dad, or you're the person that's taking care of everyone, whether it's the dad or the mom or whoever, you really have to step back every once in a while and take care of yourself and find your tribe, as it were. Find those people that get you, that can, even if it's just on the most basic level, like, we like you all to ride go-karts, and you don't have anything else in common. Well, that's enough. Let's go ride go-karts and let's have some fun and hang out with some other people that like to ride go-karts. So that's great. I'm really glad you got that opportunity.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, no, it was a good time. So, and it was good to get to connect with a lot of those guys. So I've been missing that for, the past couple of years, because our church has kind of stopped doing that. So, and I always tell guys too, like, it's like when you go to when you move to a different town or whatever, I always hear people are like, oh, like, I moved to this new place. I don't know how I'm going to really like meet anybody. It's like, like, even if you're not religious, like, go get connected with a church. Like, you'd be surprised, like, just how quickly you can find people that you can connect with that way. Honestly, like, if you find that, and if you find, and honestly, like, I feel like some of the best churches are the ones that don't cram their philosophy, theology down your throat immediately. Like, they actually get to know you, type of deal, and like give you that ability to feel and be comfortable just being around in the space. So that's usually the little bit that I always give people. But yeah, it was nice to do that. So so it's so that was how the weekend went. So it was good. Yeah, I'm glad for you. And we put out stuff about to Kevin Hart and everything. I haven't seen a whole lot come back from that little conversation that we had last week, where we were trying to get the guy's attention from the Me Time movie and everything. So we'll have to see.
That's if it's going to happen, it's going to probably take a few minutes. Yeah,
maybe.
Well, I mean, it might turn around immediately, yes, but I don't think that would be my expectation. It'd be more like, a month later.
Right. But I haven't seen anybody, even like nobody on Instagram has even done the thing that we asked to get a free sticker. So like, that's the other part to it, that challenge. Yeah. So, but who knows? We'll figure it out. I will say this though. Did you get to see the new, or did you get to see the design for the convention?
The t-shirt,
the
shirt.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. That looks really good.
It's some nice art, and I've never been involved with this part of the process before of, how do we find a t-shirt? I've always looked, I get there and I pick it up like, oh, look, a t-shirt. I'm wearing this t-shirt.
Yeah.
Everybody wear their Home Dad Con t-shirts on Friday, not on Saturday or whatever, however we do it. And so everybody's wearing the same shirt one day, and never had any consideration of the process or the work. I mean, it's laborious to try to find a design to fit the city we're going to, the fact that we're fathers, and to bring all that together in something that looks good. It's a lot of work, and I really appreciate it now more than ever. Not that I had anything to do with it, but that I saw how much work and how much effort people were putting into it.
I'm glad that we actually put it out as a contest to see what guys would come up with. And we had a few designs come in, and one of them, like, we tweaked it a little bit, but it's pretty much that design, just a different bird basically is the only difference. So it was because it was going to be a Roadrunner, and the one thing that they said was like, yes, like a Roadrunner is like an iconic bird that you would see out west. However, you won't see its like kids, like its babies and whatnot, like with it, but you will see a quail like that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So that was pretty neat. My other thing I kept joking around with, I was like, can we just have Quail Man on there then? Like, for those of you who know what that is, Nickelodeon show from back in the day.
Yeah, a ways back, by
Doug.
the way. Might be reaching.
Yeah, very. I probably am reaching a little bit, honestly. There's a few dads that are listening that might know.
I'm laughing. I get it, but
you get it, yeah.
If you guys, anybody's out there that get it, I hope your back's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I know your back's hurting. So
that's an every morning thing.
Time to take your ibuprofen.
Yes, very true. Oh my gosh. So before we go, that reminds me. So like I listen to on iHeartRadio, I'm always listening to the Comedy 24/7 station that's on there. And there's always different comedians, but they had a guy on there that was talking about how like he turned like 35 or something like that and went to the doctor, and he was saying like, this hurts and that hurts and that hurts, and the doctor was like, yeah, just take some Aleve with that. And he's like, how much Aleve? And he's like, like 10 pills a day is probably pretty good. He's like, that's a bit over the recommended amount. He's like, just take it as needed, man. This is just a part of life now. He's like,
you're 35, get ready.
He's like, it's never gonna go away or anything. He's like, nope. He's like, so that ankle of mine is just gonna hurt till I die then. He's like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. It may get less or it may get worse because of the rain or something weird.
Yeah.
I definitely, I know people who probably listen to the show, I'm just going to say, and they have hurt their back. And they were like talking, how their back was hurting. I was like, oh, this and this. And I'm like, yeah, okay. What, do you do anything? Well, I mean, I went to the trampoline park with my kids. I'm like, okay, did you stretch before you jumped on the trampoline? And they're like, stretch? No, I'm jumping on a trampoline. I'm like, yeah, you're old, sir. And you have to stretch before you get on the trampoline. Yep. You have to warm the muscles up or you're going to pull one, and you probably pulled something in your back.
Oh yeah. Well, that's that's like,
I know he's hurting, and I don't mean,
yeah.
Also, he did tell me it was okay to make fun of him. I did clear that before, I did say, are you okay? Before I started laughing. So I covered my bases.
Well, that's like when we went go-karting, like I said, they're 40 miles an hour. And so like I'm chasing this guy in front of me, and we come around this corner, and I knew I needed to slow up because he was in front of me, who's going to go around, but I figured he would like get around the corner and then I would be able to. Well, he ended up hitting the gas too soon and spun himself out and like turned himself towards me, and I came flying around the corner and I T-boned him. And I was like, oh my gosh. And like we had a red flag later, and so I slowed down. I came up beside him like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. And then afterwards I was talking with the owner who was a part of all this, and I was like, man, I was like, did you see that wreck? And he's like, oh, are you the one that T-boned that guy? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you two are going to be feeling it tomorrow. and then the crazy part is that last night I was getting a shower and I get out, and Corey was like, what is that on your back? And I'm like, what? And she's like, you have a bruise. And I was like, I hadn't felt it at all. And all of a sudden, like I felt like, oh, yep, that's what that is. It's like I should have used that padded seat that they gave some of the guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the way you are. You've reached a point in your life, and this is for any dad. You just have to do these things now. Yeah.
Don't be macho, man. Get the padding.
Yeah, just go ahead. You're too old. You are. And unless you're honestly, unless you're in your 20s, once you even hit 30, you really need to start padding. You need to start padding and get ready for stretches and warm up.
Ibuprofen.
And ibuprofen. Yeah.
Don't drink a whole lot. The hangovers are worse.
Way worse, I'm sure.
Way worse.
I don't have hangovers, but I guarantee everything else is worse after 30. So
it's all good, man. Just stay active. It'll help.
Yeah.
That's the
key.
By
active at my age, it's like, did you walk today? You mean it all? Well, good job.
Good job. I made it down to the end of the driveway. You got out of bed,
went up and down the stairs, got the mail. Whew. Grandpa's going to go lay down.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, anyway, I will say this before we go. One thing. So I know that you've been doing the mental health check-ins as of late, and honestly, like I've seen where that's really seems to be doing well for you. This is one of the last things I wanted to share. Michael Holder, who's part of your group, your guys, he had
I know Michael very well.
So he posted this really cool thing in Discord for guys called the Mood Flow app. And And we got no sponsorship for this, but honestly, like I would love it if they reached out to us because I would love sponsorship from them. So you have Moodflow on there? Yeah.
I
So
put it on today because he
Yeah.
actually recommended the other day, but yeah.
So I downloaded it too, and it's this really cool app where basically it allows you to sort of like track your day. It tracks your mood. You can journal in it about what you did for the day. It'll track your sleep, all these different elements. And honestly, like it's great because you can look back on it over, a period of
Yes.
time, and you can see sort of like how things have flowed. And I thought it was really cool because he pointed out that his wife was like, every couple of months, like you get into this slump. And he was like,
Mhm.
no, there's no way. And then he looked back on the app, and sure enough, like she was right.
Yeah.
And to me, like that, I was like, all right, like I'll give this a go. Cause I'm always in a place where I'm like, how often am I feeling like this?
Mhm.
Like, because everybody goes through slumps. They feel depressed
Yeah.
or just kind of gloomy or whatever. And it's like, how often is it happening? And also, too, to be able to look back on it, if you've taken the time to journal about what's gone on throughout the day, you
Yes.
can see that plus sleep and everything else, and hopefully make proper adjustments. So I just
Yeah,
wanted
so
to
you
bring
can-
that up.
And like you can put pictures in there, you can put your
Yeah.
location, as much information as you want to give it. I mean, it doesn't require any of this, but if you think about it, if I want to look back and look at the last, 60 days and realize that every bad day I had was after, I don't know, walking the dog, or, it's something innocuous that you do in your everyday. And then you start thinking, well, wait a minute, why is going down the street with the dog putting me in a bad mood?
Yeah.
And you can kind of, and that's a very, bad illustration, but it's the most basic. But to help you understand that, oh, wow, every time I eat a salad, I end up in a bad mood or whatever.
Yeah.
Or every time I eat red meat, it puts me in a bad mood or whatever. But you can track those things, and it's as detailed as you want it to be. And like with anything else that tracks us from day to day and month to month, when your emotional health is involved, it's awesome. From what he was showing me on his app of, hey,
Yeah.
this is where I was, and this day was this thing, and I know it was this thing. And now next time I just won't do that thing. And
Right.
I don't have another bad day. Right.
Exactly. So I just wanted to point that out because I was like, I didn't really find a place to put it in there. I was like, I'll put it in here at the end, and hopefully I'll put a link into for the app. So if anybody's looking for it, they can find it or whatever. And yeah, I mean, hey, Moodflow, if you're out there, if you want to sponsor us, like,
Yeah.
we'd love to have you.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, other than that, I got nothing else, man. So I guess we'll
Yeah,
talk
good.
in about another week, and it'll
right,
be all
man.
kinds of fun. So have a good one.
Yep. Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.